That's David, y'all. Where we at? There you go. Say hi, David. They looking at you now on my phone. That's technology, though. That's technology. Yeah, that's how. So, oh man, see, we got to do this again. We got to do this show again when you guys you have to take your assistant back and all that great stuff. We'll go through these pretty fast. I know it's late there. What's up, you guys? Kareem Jackson. You are live on the set. Hope all is going well. We have a great show for you this morning. I am truly excited. We're going to be talking about Roots, you guys, a fantastic movie. It's a great movie. I saw it when I was a kid. I read the book as well. And then actually what we're talking about is how it is really, really relevant today about what's going on in the United States, and that the fact that Roots, what they were talking about in the very beginning, it still hasn't been done. Nothing seems to have changed very much. So we could learn a whole lot from an old movie that came out in the 70s.
I tell you, without struggle, there's no progress.
And we have a lot of Filipino listeners, of course, and international, of course, as well, as you see from our people that are chiming in live. Americans have forgotten about our history than the foreigners have, which is why I believe a lot of foreigners are really supporting our cause right now. And I think that in itself is where we need to really go back to. And that's why I thought that talking to you, talking about Roots and talking this subject based on the fact that Roots as a movie, and you guys are listening to two brothers whose family have been back to Africa. They've both traced our roots. We both are international families, successful families. And I believe we have a lot of insight that a lot of folks in the States, especially right now, that are struggling with all this racism, could really benefit from. The number one that I put here was losing Black Americans, man. I believe that's one of the biggest fears that Black Americans don't realize, but they're starting to realize now. And that's the issue that America has, because do you want the Negroes to go or do you want them not to go? Losing Black Americans, that's a fear, especially for large corporations, since the Black Americans, and you know this from being in politics, David, they spend around $4 trillion US every single year. That means they earn it, they make it, and they spend it. Countries like Canada, the Philippines, and of course Africa, they've been investing tons of budgets, tons of money on David, to attract Black American racism-free tourism, they call it now, investment and residency. What do you think about losing Black Americans? Because a lot of Americans, as you said, they don't really see their value. So they think that America has nothing to lose. The Black Americans, we need to really understand is that we have a huge tourism, investment, and buying power, not to mention our knowledge, our talent, our skills.
We do. And we underutilize. We don't do it collectively. Here in the States, because of what has happened with police brutality, we are having a blackout where Black America will not spend $1 at all on that day. You look to those different states and realize the populations and what that buying power is. They begin to listen, and they've talked about whether or not protests should be violent or not. But sadly, America listens to dollar signs when they have to clean up broken glass or replace vehicles, when they have property damage. Because other than that, Black lives don't matter. Black dollars do matter. And the dollars from the mainstream, I think it begins to get their attention. With this COVID backdrop, how quickly they want us to reemerge. The big debate is how quickly we all come back in and get back to work, because the economy, the dollars are suffering. And whether or not more lives are lost or that public health is at a detriment, doesn't matter. They don't care about the life of folk. They care about the dollars. And more people are rising up and saying that our lives matter and that we should not be just pawns for the economy.
I really do agree with that. I knew this in the States. This is a benefit, but then you also see that it's one of our negative cultures for American culture, is the focus is on the economy. Because here we have a very few cases. I think that there's only about 15,000 cases totally. There's no riots, there's no stress, there's no strife. The thing is that you would think this is a third world country, right? So these are the ones should be rioting. These are the ones should be looting, right? They should be breaking into grocery stores, right? Because they can't work either. At the end of the day, they are not poor in valuing human life. They're not poor in hospitality and compassion. Right here, you guys, we're talking about the positive after effects of slavery, which a lot of folks don't really realize. I believe the fear of a lot of whites, especially when you know them here globally, is the power of the positive after effects of slavery. I mean, the fact that you have to be the best senator to be a senator as a Black senator. Obama had to be the best, most professional black man to become the president. As black folks, if we want to sell the same tie as the white guy, we better have the best tie in the whole city. Whereas a white guy can usually walk in and get in pretty easy. And black Americans, one advantage that I see is that because of slavery, we are conditioned to overachieve.
Well, we do. If allowed to compete in an open market, we do maintain and can maintain a strong business ethic. We had to rely upon ourselves. Once we learned how to rely upon our own and work within our own businesses, it went well. And we did that with everything. We emulate. We want to go where they go and do what they do.
I believe, I see it. Traveling here doing business, specifically abroad as an entrepreneur, they know when we put on that suit to go represent their company or represent our own business in a conference here internationally, we're going to look like Obama. I get a lot of that. And it's usually, to be honest, it's very true. But in the States, we don't realize it because we're not really free. So we don't see our own value. And I don't know if you use this term, but I've heard you talk about the woke Negro, being woke. We were already pretty woke. That was always our connection. We were not fooled by anything around us. We could be real with each other. We could have a good time and then go put on a suit and tie and be senators and entrepreneurs or whatever we were going to be. I believe that the white racist community really fears the woke Negro. This is the biggest fear they have because you cannot control a woke Negro. A woke Negro is not bothered by you at all.
Well, I think that by and large, and this is what's become so important, everybody, especially those of us carrying cell phones, can be witness to a society that is prejudicial and that can be detrimental. In other words, they're trying to hurt, they try to injure. And that can expose itself not just with the obviousness of a knee on the throat. We all are woke. I mean, it's funny, when you look at something going down, you see everybody standing up with the cameras on. It's saying that we want to be more aware and that we want to be more informed and we want to share something that's out of place, but we want to hold on to it and say, this is maybe not how things are supposed to be. That's staying woke.
Number 4, I put this up here, you guys, because the true value of the American Negro is one of the biggest fears I think they have too. This is a true ad of $1,200 to $1,250. So it could be $1,200 or $1,250 and you got you a Negro. I believe that in the back of our minds in the States, a lot of black folks, they don't want to admit it, but they're still on this vision. They still see themselves as that $1,200 nigga behind bars. They don't really understand the true value. When you travel or when you go back to Africa, the value the globe sees for black folks is you can build a nation.
Well, there are other ways they make money on black folk right now. It's called the prison system, and one of the reasons they're opening up because they're making money. If they pay $1,200, Kareem, they're going to make 10 times that in terms of the work product off of it. If they pay that for somebody.
America, if I remember right from Alex's book, I remember very distinctly one part that stuck in my head. Like if they bought you and me, they owned us and they owned all our kids for generations. You owned for the next generation. So they treated us like pure breed, dogs. You get you one Rottweiler, all the puppies are yours too. You can keep them or you can sell them. That's how they treated us. So they made a lot of money off of us. When it comes down to it, my point is that I think one of the biggest fears when we wake up and realize that we're worth a whole lot more now than $1,200. That was my I got one more bonus last question for you, man. And I say we always do a bonus here on my show. One of the fears that I believe that they have, and they really is a true fact for them, and I think that they're really waking up to it. I think that's why they're more hostile now after Obama than they were before Obama, is I believe that they see that the white race in America, especially the white American, especially their lifestyle is going extinct right now. They're actually the minority, not us. So pretty soon they have to officially change that term to where we're not the minorities anymore. They are the minority. Is that a reality for them? Or what do you see in the States right now, white folks talking about?
Of course, to find a way to make white in vogue enough again that it's all in charge. That's what making America great again was, that little dog whistle that Trump was sending to the group that knows that miscegenation or race mixing will not have the quote-unquote all Caucasian. You won't be able to distinguish, and you got to be very careful, because then they'll no longer be able to exercise automatic prejudices that exclude, and that's an undermining global earth-shaking change from what the so-called white superiority code had brought. Because when we get from white superiority or the myth of that into the fear of a black or of a color based planet. Well, you know, what else do they have? What card do they have to play? They have no other card to play when that whole myth is busted.
Again, you guys have been live on the set. Kareem Jackson, you guys, I appreciate that. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We're international stuff right here, so a lot of times we have a problem getting them live on the show, but thanks to technology, we could talk live to these folks and really get them on the screen. It's one of those things where we are trying to really give some insights to black folks, really show you guys that you guys are loved out here. You guys see it. The world has supported us. They've done great things for us. We see it all over the world. Now it's a national, all over America, black, white, green, yellow, Filipino, Chinese, Korean, Saudi, Muslim, Christian, Catholic issue. Thanks again for tuning in for the show, and stay tuned for our new podcast coming out very, very soon. We'll give you guys a good announcement for that. So again, thank you very much. Thank you all very much for all of your support and your love. We wouldn't be here without you. And of course, thank you for the Philippines for a great, wonderful hospitality, great welcome. Thank you for the love. I appreciate you guys. You have no idea. Love you all. Stay tuned, you guys, and we'll see you next time live on the set.